All right. What up, cousin truckers and YouTubers? What up, YouTubers and cousin truckers? Hold on one second. Let me get this good. All right, that was just a joke. As you guys know, we still live in the whole quarantine mask on life, unlike what Future said, which was the whole mask off thing. Yesterday, I was actually in Bradenton for the 9/11 Memorial Car Show, and as usual, now when I go to a lot of these car shows, I always rent a vehicle, as most of you know by now who've checked out my previous review videos. And so since I was in Bradenton, I decided, you know what, Bradenton is close to Tampa, so what I'll do is I'll come to Tampa and review the car, because Tampa's always nice and sunny and things like that. But like I tell a lot of people, sometimes, you know, sometimes nature doesn't always behave the way you want it to. So as you could possibly tell, there is an umbrella over my head, because right now I'm in Tampa, and this right here is what Tampa looks like. Yeah, welcome to sunny Tampa. And as I've said, sometimes I realize things don't work out the way you think they should. And so I thought that I was gonna have this nice, beautiful scene set up, you know, right off the water with the palm trees and the sunshine, and review a vehicle, and it was gonna be all nice. But yeah, I don't know if you can hear me because it's so windy right now, but yeah, sometimes things happen. With that being said, I will go ahead, and as you already probably have seen with the preview, you kind of know what kind of car I have, but I'll go ahead and show you what I rented for the weekend. And there she is, the Dodge Challenger. Like I said, I wanted to review it in Tampa because I thought, like, man, Tampa was gonna be nice today, it was gonna be sunny, but some type of way we got this weird tropical system, tropical storm that has, you know, hit Florida, and yeah, I can't really do the review in Tampa right now. So I'm gonna probably go ahead and head back towards home, and maybe by the time I get back to Central Florida, there'll be some sunshine and I can finish up this car review. All right, y'all, it's your boy and I'm back, as you can probably tell, in a new location, because yeah, like I said, I wanted to do the review in Tampa, but the weather, as you saw in the first part of this video, was just not behaving at all. And that's one of the things I tell people sometimes about doing reviews of cars and just anything you sometimes will try to do in life. You always got to have a plan B, because sometimes that plan A just will not work out. So let's get to the vehicle. It is a Dodge Challenger, a 2020 with the Hemi. I myself personally, as I've said in other videos, I am not a sports car person. I'm not a real sports car fan, only because I myself do not like to pay a lot of money for car insurance. As I've gotten older, I do not like paying a lot of money for gas. So I personally just haven't really been a sports car person. But as unfortunately, as I've gotten older and closer to my midlife crisis, because I'm 36 now, I'll be 50, you know, obviously in a couple of years, Lord's willing, if I survive. But as I gotten closer to my midlife crisis, for some reason, I have grown to enjoy sports cars. As I've been renting cars, now it's like that's all I want to do is rent a sports car. And it's obviously because that's not what I drive on a regular basis. The one thing I love about this vehicle is the front end. It's the RT. Also, I love the little hood vent. You know, a real hood vent, not the little cheap plastic ones that you can buy from AutoZone and put it on there yourself. I just rent a lot of different types of vehicles, and I've had a lot of different sports cars. I had Camaros and Mustangs, well, mainly just Camaro and Mustangs. Besides the Audi A5, which was also considered a sports car, but it was a four-door. But this one right here has been my favorite. Like, and I'm not even like a Mopar person. To me personally, I would choose any vehicle that's affordable and that I like, and to me that looks good. The one thing I will say I have realized about these Dodge Challengers, for me personally, there's not a bad angle of the vehicle. Sometimes when I rented the Mustang at certain angles, I was like, I don't really like that. When I had the Camaro at certain angles, I was like, I don't really like that. But the one thing I will say for me personally, there is just not a bad angle on this vehicle at all. Like, to me, it looks beautiful at every single angle. No matter what angle you look at it, it's just a nice vehicle to me. It has the dual pipes on it, dual exhaust, which most sports cars do have. This is the first car I personally have rented that just sounds so beautiful. Like, man, I just love the way this vehicle sounds. And it does have the auto start, which is interesting because in the past, when I've had auto start, and it's kind of funny because I myself have a Chrysler, and this is my actual car key here, and then this is the Dodge key. So since I've had these two keys, I sometimes keep getting confused as to which one is mine, but theirs has an extra button on it. The push to start on these are much easier than I used to have an Impala. And in order to do the push to start, you had to push the lock first, then hit the push to start. On this one, you just double press the push to start. And there you have it. I'm definitely hoping that the camera picked up that sound, because to me, that noise right there, for me, hearing that baby purr like that made me really kind of, I'm not gonna say fall in love because it's just a material possession, but it's really made me enjoy this car. And usually, man, it's still kind of bright out here. Say this car has been very fun to drive, just very, very fun to drive. Even now, I'm like debating on, should I pay for an extra day just to keep the car and drive a little bit more, put a couple more miles on it. But I don't need to do that. Like I said, the weather is really bad today, so there's really no place for me to go to really enjoy myself. So I'm gonna just go home and finish editing some video. But let's check out the interior of this vehicle. One other thing, I originally reserved a Mustang for the car show because, like I said, when I travel now, I try to always rent cars because I don't want to put the miles on my own personal vehicle. But as some of you may know, or those of you who follow me on my other social media platforms, I had an incident where there was a lake, a very steep lake, and there happened to be a baby alligator towards the edge of the lake that looked like it was in distress. So, one thing led to another, and I ended up like this. I don't know if you can see that. But, and actually, I'm sorry. I gotta apologize. That alligator story had nothing to do with what happened to my foot. I just wanted to come up with something cool to tell people as to why I got this boot on my foot. But in reality, what happened is I was at a Waffle House in the parking lot, and it had just got done raining actually on Memorial Day. Oh no, I'm sorry, Labor Day. And these things right here, you see these stripes? These suckers are extra dangerous when they're wet. And it was sort of my fault because I had on these sandals that I know don't have a whole lot of grip left on them. And I just so happened to step down on the stripe, and some type of way my foot slid forward. And what happened is my big toe actually went under my foot. And long story short, I actually broke the bone in my big toe at the very end. And actually the good thing is the bone is not broke all the way through. Hold on one second. I mean, I was walking out here to kind of show you guys that, but like I said, once again, just check out this angle of this car. I swear, at every angle, this vehicle just looks beautiful to me. Like, it makes me realize if I was to get another car, and if I was to get a sports car, it would have to be a Challenger. Because I mean, this thing is just beautiful at every angle. But getting back to me and my problems. But yeah, so I cracked the top half of the bone in my foot. Since it didn't crack all the way through, it doesn't require surgery or anything like that. But I do have to wear this boot for like the next 4 weeks, which kind of sucks. But it's also the reason why I ended up with the Dodge Challenger, because the Dodge Challenger has a little bit more space than the Mustang or the Camaro. And so I decided to kind of pay to upgrade to the Dodge Challenger, just so I can get his foot some extra space. Yeah, and I apologize, I have to take my time right now to get inside these vehicles because, yeah, this foot, I don't want to mess it up too bad. But like I say, it's just got a little bit more space, so it's easier for me to get this bad toe up in this vehicle. All right, this here is the interior of the Dodge Challenger. Like I said, it definitely has a pretty nice interior. Not the fanciest. I mean, I'm pretty sure depending on what model you get, you probably can get a much fancier interior. One nice thing I will say, it has, for a sports car, it has a lot of cup holders, which some of you know already. I love that. It's got one on this side, one on this side, and two right here. It also has two 12-volt AC/DC chargers, which for me, I like that also, because then it's like I can plug my GPS up here, I can plug my phone in here. It has a decent amount of interior space, not a whole lot, because I mean it is still a sports car. One other thing is the gas mileage. I was very, very impressed with the gas mileage. I mean, because me personally, like I said, I still don't enjoy wasting too much gas, but as you can see with this vehicle here, right now it's getting 18.3 miles to the gallon. I drove basically from Fort Pierce, Florida to Bradenton, Florida, and only burned a quarter tank of gas. And that was about a 2.5-hour drive. So at some points, this thing was getting almost 24 miles to the gallon, which is pretty good to me. It's like, I think it does have like one of those smart motors, because every once in a while when I was looking at this thing, in the middle of that circle, you would see a, it would say like a 4-cylinder or whatever, which I guess means it was only using 4 cylinders instead of 8. And so that was pretty interesting. I mean, I'm not sure what that's about or how to force it to go to 4-cylinder, but I guess the car itself just, you know, these cars are smart nowadays. They're basically like computers. So I guess it just has its own mind and things like that. Vehicle had, I'm so sweaty. Sorry. Man, I'm sorry, guys. It's kind of hot outside, and it don't take a whole lot for me to sweat. But really, this vehicle for me, unlike the Camaro and the Mustang, it actually has a lot of space. Like, I personally feel like this is like a full-size car, but it's just 2-door. And I would definitely try the back seat test on this thing, because I do feel like with this vehicle, unlike the other cars I've rented, other sports cars, I actually feel like a person could actually fit in the back of this vehicle. I would try, but obviously with my toe, I don't have time to, that's zooming in too far. I would try it, but obviously with my toe, I don't have time to play those type of games, so I'm not gonna do that right now. If I can make a complaint, my only complaint about the vehicle is that the sound system is so weak. Like, I don't know what type of speakers are actually in this car, but it definitely has one of the weakest sound systems out of any sports car I have rented. And let's get out and check out the trunk. I'm definitely trying to be careful getting in and out of this vehicle, because I'm not trying to mess this toe up anymore. I don't want to do no more damage to this toe than I've already done. I've rented, at least sports cars, usually have a suction cup under the gas hood, but this one actually has a cap. It has a gas cap on it, which I mean is whatever, but I was kind of like, oh, I was expecting a suction cup thing instead of the gas cap. And that's also interesting, they have the old school Chrysler logo. For those of you who knew about the old school Chrysler, that's the kind of Chrysler my grandma had right there with that logo. I remember that look. I think it was an Aries she had or something like that, or 84 or something. Also, this one here has the 20-inch wheels on it. It's kind of funny because I remember back in the day when the big timers used to rap about 20s on their cars, like those seemed huge. Now they look kind of normal, and I almost want to say small, but you know, big enough. When renting a car, is trying to figure out how the heck to open up the trunk. A lot of the sports cars I had rented, the Camaro and the Mustang, to open up the trunk was down here. So when I first got this car, I'm just feeling down here. I was even feeling down here. Down here I was even feeling to try to figure out how to open up the trunk. Eventually I kind of tried to use my common sense and decided just to kind of pay attention to the back of the vehicle. And right here is the little knob to pop the trunk. And man, I will say, out of every sports car I have rented, this one has the biggest trunk ever. You can definitely fit a lot more bags in it. Like I say, I almost feel like with this vehicle, you can take 4 people, you know, as long as 2 of the people in the back are kind of smaller, but because you can fit a decent amount of bags in this trunk also. I mean, really, you could almost fit a human body in this trunk. Not that you want to do that, but you know, it is some weirdos out there. And I myself feel like if I ever take another road trip, I would probably possibly look into another vehicle this size, just so I can, you know, have a small, well, I guess I don't want to say a smaller car, because this thing to me isn't a smaller car. It's like, I feel like this is like a full-size car, but it's still a sports car, a two-door full-size car. It's like, it's been a really fun and interesting car to drive. And like I said before, I was even debating on calling them and saying, hey, how much would it be to keep the car for another day? But since the weather's not too nice today and it's not that pretty outside, I decided that'll be a waste of money. So I'm gonna go ahead and run these people back their car. I am not a mechanic. I am a normal human being who has a job, who works, and who knows that in America you need a car in order to get around and maintain your way of life. I personally have always grown up around cars and custom cars and things like that, so I've always liked cars. But when it comes down to it, I don't know a whole lot about them. I know how to change the battery. I don't even know how to change the oil on the car, but I do know how to change the battery. I know how to change the tire. I know how to take it to the right mechanic to get it fixed and how to spend the money to get it fixed. But besides that, that's it. I definitely enjoy going to car shows and car events and being around cars and car people. But I'm not a mechanic, so there's not a whole lot that I know about vehicles. And so there you have it. I'm gonna get ready to get up out of here. As usual, thank you guys for tuning in. Hopefully you enjoyed the review. Like I say, my reviews are kind of for the normal people who may just want to know normal things about cars. You know, I will say this one, like I say, this one was definitely fun to drive. It's got good handling and things like that. And yeah, I do feel like if I was to ever get a sports car, I would have to go with the Challenger, me personally. Like it's just been a really nice car and I really enjoyed it a lot. If you have a vehicle out there that you would like Cuzzintruck with his, I'm not gonna say with my bad reviews, but with his normal human reviews to talk about and review your vehicle, contact me, send me an email. I'm not gonna say call me, because if you call me, I probably won't answer the phone, but definitely message me, send me an email, you know, and all those good old-fashioned things. And as I said before too, if I do review your vehicle, I will need to keep it for like a weekend or a couple of days. So it's definitely gonna get some mileage put on it, because I need to kind of put it on the highway to really test it out and see what it can really do. Hey, I'm gonna try something that I never tried before, because I love the way this vehicle sounds. So let me try this. So I definitely thank you guys for tuning in, and for the people. And one other thing I just want to address. And as you might have noticed in this video, I keep kind of reminding people that I'm not a mechanic and that I don't know a whole lot about vehicles. I just do the reviews for like the regular people out there who might want to know about a specific car or whatever. Just hope you guys enjoy these reviews. And if you don't enjoy the reviews, you know, let me know. That's not going to make me change anything about them. Well, actually, I don't want to say that. I may change some things about them, but that's not going to stop me from doing them, because I myself personally am trying to get used to being on the other side of the camera, because I go to a lot of car shows and, you know, I get a lot of footage, but it's usually of the cars. Not saying that you guys want to see me anyway, but I just also realize it'll kind of be good to branch out and try to do some different things in order to keep this YouTube stuff going, and in order to try to keep it interesting and in order to kind of create new opportunities for myself. So that's another reason why I do these review videos. So I thank you guys for all the support. Please comment, like, share, all those other good old-fashioned things, and I'll holler at you guys next time. Peace. Actually, well, this is kind of some behind the scenes stuff. Sometimes I don't know how to end these videos or even how to begin these videos, so I try different things all the time. And like I say, this is just some kind of behind the scene type of stuff. And even with all right, I know what else I wanted to talk about. One other thing, there was all right, guys, this is just some extra stuff that's been going on. This is kind of me venting. Since this is my YouTube channel, and since I am in front of this camera right now, I'm just kind of venting about a couple of things. Recently, my grandfather passed away from complications with coronavirus. Now, we can't say that the coronavirus 100%, you know, it's even weird to say killed, but we can't 100% blame the coronavirus on my grandfather's death, but the complications he had from coronavirus did in fact cause his death. So, and that happened about 3 weeks ago now, and you know, even now I'm still trying to kind of cope with it. I'm kind of glad I got the shades on so you can't see what's going on with my face and my eyes. And so I just wanted to kind of also tell everyone, you know, not to get, this is nothing political, this is just life. Just be careful, take care of yourselves. The one thing me and my family went through with this whole coronavirus experience with my grandfather is his last 21 days on earth was spent in a hospital. And not only were they spent in the hospital, but he had to spend them all alone. And my grandfather had 5 kids, about 13 grandkids, 10, 12, I don't even know. I can't even keep up with the number of great grandkids. And I just feel like it's a shame that, you know, he was 85 years old, but the fact that he, you know, built this empire of people, this support system of people around him. God blessed him to have all this family and friends and people who loved him. And to think his last days on earth, he had to kind of spend them alone and by himself. I mean, yeah, the nurses and stuff like that was around, but you know, so many of us would imagine that when we get ready to die, that we would be surrounded by our family. And so and I say that to say, like, not only do we have to worry about the coronavirus and all the effects that it can have on you, but we also got to realize the effects that it can have on your family. Because, you know, if you mess around and end up in that hospital, chances are, unless you get well, like my grandfather, you could go into the hospital and never come out. And, you know, the next time your family has to see you, you're in a coffin. And so, like I said, and this is just a part of me venting. I mean, I apologize. I know it has nothing to do with the car. I'm trying to keep the car in the background just so people can still feel like this is car related. What I will say, my grandfather liked cars. And so anytime I would even buy a new car, the first thing I always had to do is I would have to take it to my granddad to let him check it out, let him kick the tires around, sit in the interior. So that was just kind of a little thing that me and him always had. Like every car I got, I always had to take it to my granddad for him to check it out. And he used to be like, oh yeah, ride me around in the car. So that's another thing, like that's another reason why I've always enjoyed cars and things like that, because I know it's like, I heard a long time ago that a car is the closest thing a human has to being like a god. Like it's something that we create, it's something we take care of, and it's you know, and they're in America, it's just a part of our daily lives, having cars and things like that. And so for me personally, between what happened with my grandfather and then me breaking this toe, some of you also know, if you follow me on any other of my social media accounts, even my Cuzzintruck Instagram account, you know that I rented a Mustang convertible about 2 weeks ago, and someone broke into the car. To this day, I still have absolutely no idea why the person broke into the car. They basically bust out the passenger window and they stabbed the top of the convertible. And ever since that happened, I've been really nervous, and it's kind of funny to even have this car right now, because I have been extremely nervous about renting vehicles now, because I'm like, I don't know why the person did it. And out of every car in the parking lot, that was the only one they attacked. And what pissed me off or upset me even more is the fact that they didn't even take anything out the car. It's like they just vandalized it just because they were being stupid and possessed with some type of demon. And so even now, having this car has like given me just a little anxiety, because I kind of realized like this is just a life lesson for some of you out there too. A lot of people will ask me, hey, can you rent me a car? Because they know I rent a lot of cars. I don't get really good discounts, but it's like for me renting, I get a little 10% here and stuff like that. But I constantly tell people, like, I'm not trying to be rude, I'm not trying to be mean, I'm not trying to be funny. But no, I'm not gonna do it, because I don't know what might happen to that car. And like even with these cars I rent, I stopped getting the rental insurance on the cars because it made the cars more expensive. And so I started using my own insurance. So even the Mustang that I rented, that got vandalized, my insurance is going to cover it, and I have to pay the comprehensive deductible and things like that. But it's just one of those things, me personally, and this is sad, but I've always been a pessimistic person. Like, I'm a glass is half empty type of person. I don't see it as half full. And I've always just been very cautious about certain things that I do and certain things I get involved with. But that's a whole nother story. I mean, that's like I said, I'm kind of going on and on a tangent right now. But like I said, this is just something that I just kind of wanted to, you know, since I got the camera in front of me, and, you know, just to kind of give a human aspect to life. Because even me, I post a lot of videos, I post my trips, I post these cars, I do all these things. But, you know, I'm sharing this with you guys just to let you know that there is a human being behind the name. There is a human behind these cars. There is a human behind these vehicles. And all of us go through things. And even right now, you might be out there right now going through some things. And so I think I also just want to take this as an opportunity to let you know that every day is not going to be a storm. And you saw earlier I was in Tampa where it was storming. And now I'm over here in Kissimmee, and it's a little bit nicer outside. And that's just the way life is. Like, one minute you're gonna be in a storm, the next minute, you know, you can kind of see the sun a little bit. You can't see it clearly, but you know it's coming. And even recently, somebody told me, like, there's always a blue sky above every cloud. So it's like everything we go through, just know that, like, you know, it's all just a test. I feel like with that car getting broken into was all a test. Another small thing that some of you don't realize, the camera I'm using right now is a brand new camera. Why is it a brand new camera? Because after the car got broken into, after the car got vandalized, what day was it? I think the car got vandalized on a Wednesday. So was it the following day? Crap, I almost can't remember. But basically, the car got vandalized. A couple of days later, I decided, you know what, I'm not gonna let that slow me down. I'm gonna go to the beach. So I went to the beach with my camera to get some video. I'm out at the beach, in the water, taking some video along some rocks. Waves are coming in, but they're normal. They're not even coming up to above my knee almost. Some type of way, there was a rogue wave that came, it hit a rock. And I swear to you, probably this much water, if this makes sense, this much water went bloop, and hit the front end of my camera. And for the first 10 minutes, the camera was fine, but then all of a sudden, it started going like this. Just wobbling, 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 wobbling. Then the screen wouldn't turn on. And it had been so much going on between my grandfather and then between the vandalism, that vehicle getting vandalized, to where my camera got messed up, and it was just like, come on, man. like I couldn't even react, because it was just like, I'm not even surprised. Like, it's just been so much going on. And so thankfully, I'm the kind of person, I'm dumb enough to actually get the Geek Squad protection on a lot of the equipment that I buy from Best Buy and stuff like that. So I mean, thankfully I had that Geek Squad protection, so I was able to get the camera replaced. But it's like that also happened like the week before Daytona truck meet. And so, you know, of course, then they're telling me it's gonna take a while for the camera to get in and all this type of stuff. And I'm just like, man, it's like I I'm a person, I believe in God, but for those of you who don't, I'll say the universe. It's like the universe was just putting it on me and just letting a lot of things happen, and it's enough to drive you crazy sometimes. So that's another reason why, even renting this vehicle here, I was like, you know what, I'll spend the extra money for the upgrade, you know, have a vehicle that I really enjoyed. And that's just kind of what life is all about. So like I said, and I apologize, this video is so long. I mean, maybe some of you've already tuned out or tuned me out, but it's just, like I say, it's just one of those things where I just kind of feel like I wanted to share that with you guys, to let you know, and it's not just me, it's all the YouTubers out there, all the people out there. Just know that life ain't perfect, you know. Yeah, it looks good sometimes. Yeah, you might see us going to all these different shows and doing all this traveling, and you feel like, oh, because y'all on YouTube, y'all making this money and things like that. But it's like, life will still put it on you. And, you know, it's just the way it is sometimes. It's just the way it is. But, you know, all you got to do is, you know, keep your head up, keep the faith, keep looking up. And all I can say is, you know, things can get better. They truly can get better if you allow them to. If you don't want them to get better, they won't. But if you want them to, they can get better. The only time they won't get better is when you're dead. Because when you're dead, that's it. I mean, yeah, it ain't getting no better than that. So that was just one other thing I wanted to add to this video, and I kind of apologize for going on and on a tangent. But like I said, it's just something I wanted to kind of get off my chest, and I'm kind of venting to you guys, venting to the world, to kind of let them know some of the things that have recently been going on, even for me in my personal life. And maybe what's going on with me can be used to help the next person. So, you know, but I'll holler at you guys later. All right, peace.